rushing, hit a wall. Right now I need a miracle. Hurry up now, I need a miracle. Stranded, reaching out. I call your name but you're not around. I say your name but you're not around. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down, down, down. Running out of time. I really thought you were on my side, but now there's nobody by my side. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down, down, down. Oh, I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. Oh, I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah, don't let me down. Yeah, don't let me down. Don't let me down. So don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Oh, I think I'm losing my mind now. Yeah. Don't let me down, down, down.
Hey guys, Kala here with another Stamina Templar update for the Murkmire patch this time. I have a raid in about 30 minutes, so I'll try to make this quick. I did 2 parses with 2 different rotations. One of them, the first one, is using Blazing Spear on the front bar, as I always have done up until this point. Damage 45.5, so damage is up a bit for quite a few reasons, mostly the enchantment changes, but let's go over them later. Here the sustain is really great, restoring focus 190 and upside stamina 164. You can actually solo sustain a light attack rotation on the 6 mil dummy, as you saw me do there. This is not something that you used to be able to do in the past few patches at least on the Stamina Templar. So sustain is actually really great now if you can just be bothered to actually cast the restoring focus every once in a while. Other than that, not much to say about this pass, 91 Power of the Light, and we will compare some of these with the other pass. But the other pass here, let's look at the drain first, 1500 compared to the 1300 from the other pass. And this is because of the biting jab spam. We are no longer using Blazing Spear. We get a bit higher damage because of that, but not by a lot, and the sustain is significantly worse. 1500 compared to 1300 drain is a lot of difference. So believe me guys, if you for some reason feel like you are lacking sustain, your group is maybe not that optimized, organized, you don't get as many synergies, the fights are maybe a bit longer, just go with the other rotation. But this rotation is gonna give you a bit more damage and be a bit more consistent in fights where there are adds. Because adds, very often they can steal the Blazing Spear proc and the Burning Light proc, that's what I mean. But in this fight, nothing else, nothing worth mentioning here. Absolute Stamina 166 here again, really nice. Restoring Focus, I think I only cast it once, so it's at 35, but you can always cast it more if you lack sustain. And this one was done with the Lava Foot Soap and Saltless, by the way. There's no way I can sustain this amount of drain without heavy attacking. The damage difference is mostly from Biting Chaps, 5400 here and 3400 here. So the damage difference is fairly apparent. Let's go over the gear choices quickly. Velid Wrath instead of Celine's Dispatch. Celine's got indirectly nerfed, I would say, because Reliquent no longer procs it, and Reliquent no longer procs Ravager either, so I would not use Ravager on the Stamina Templar anymore. Instead of Ravager, if you want weapon damage, you can always use Veiled Heritance, but I usually go for crit myself. The damage difference is not that big. I tried Veiled Heritance on the PTS, and the damage is a bit lower on a dummy, but Veiled Heritance is really consistent as well, and it might even scale a bit better into raids. I will have to try that out a bit more later on in actual raid situations. When it comes to the jewelry traits, I actually took the leap from 3 Bloodthirsty to 2 Infused and 1 Bloodthirsty right now, and this is because of Minor Brutality changes. Minor Brutality from the DKs now gives you 10% weapon damage instead of 5%, so we have more weapon damage here, and that also means that we get more weapon damage for free in the end from the Minor Brutality, so I might even change the last one to Infused. I will try this raid with this setup, and I will just switch the last Bloodthirsty to an Infused as well for the next raid, and I will just update in the description below what my conclusion was in the end. Same thing for Advancing Yokido versus Veiled Heritance. The big change of this patch is the weapon enchant changes. So here we are running weapon damage enchant now on the bow, and this is because now the ground dots keep refreshing all of your enchants. Sorry, so that means Berserk here, Weakening, Crusher, everything, like every enchant. This keeps proccing all the time, so we get basically 100% Berserker for free, essentially. So that's why we want to use the Berserk on your bow. Hail is always going to be hitting something, and you're always going to be keeping Hail down, so you kind of get 100% Berserk by default out of that one. Also, Poison Injection procs this one, so even if you don't have Hail down in Execute, for example, you still can proc it from Poison Injection. And on the front bar, we don't actually use Nirnhound anymore. Instead, we use Infused now. This is because Infused is just flat out better. The damage from the Poison Enchant is actually a lot better than just the weapon damage increase from Nirnhound. Absorb Stamina on the other bar, or on the other hand, sorry. And we actually get a shit ton of sustain from this one. I would not change it for Disease, even though Disease is a bit higher on the damage, flat out damage scale. Everything else is the same, still a Vampire, still running the Lover, and still running the dual staff food in this time in all fights pretty much. I don't see a reason to ever switch for the Regen food now that we have a really nice sustain tool from this ability here. The CPs I just did really quickly. I also checked them with constellations, so they should be optimized this time. Unlike my videos usually, where I just kind of guess every CP allocation. But well, I did guess this one as well, and constellations agrees with me. So apparently, I know something about slotting CPs after all. But yeah, we got 10 extra CP, 66 in the Master at Arms. I don't think this changed, maybe it did, but yeah, you have a lot of direct damage, mainly relic when your light attacks or your first hits of your dots, or initial hits. Thaumaturge 56, you use a lot of jabs. Jabs is damage over time, and you get a lot of damage increase from Thaumaturge, unlike some other classes. Precise Strike 66, kind of self-explanatory, we have a lot of crit. Piercing, this time it's at 18. We lost the base penetration value, which is 100 in this patch. I don't know why, but that's essentially that means that we would need 17 points into piercing to have a full penetration with all the debuffs. But because of how the jump points work, I just decided to go 18. It's just kind of whatever. 1 point, you know, who cares? You can go a lot higher if you don't have Alkos at times, you know, everything. It is the same thing applies as always when it comes to penetration. And lastly, Mighty 64, just a basic damage amplifier for a stamina class. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna go too in depth into the rotations that you saw at the start of the video. You can sort of just, I will not speed them up, you can just watch them over yourself. The first rotation is obviously very simple because you only thing you really do is apply the rending slashes and then you just jab away pretty much all the time. So that's what you do there. But for the first rotation, just refer to my earlier video that I did in late Wolf Hunter. Obviously in that video we didn't yet have the channeled focus or restoring focus here on the back bar, but that really doesn't change anything. You just add that into the rotation every once in a while, and that is really just one less jab cast per rotation. But yeah, look at that video and watch over the parses that I did here. Other than that, I will keep experimenting and I will update everything that I did not reach a conclusion in the description afterwards. But yeah, once again, hope you enjoyed, guys. Hope this helps you, and I'll see you later.